Come on, everybody. My name is Jared O'Leary. I've been drumming since 1998, and I still got plenty of stuff to work on. In these practice streams, I like to share what I'm doing to continue to improve as somebody who's been drumming for almost 30 years, and you can actually find timestamps in the description of all 400 plus live streams, and you can see what I was working on or what kind of question I was answering when I was working on drum kit, on tenor drums, on snare drum, whatever. Now, because I've been drumming for so long, and because I have a bachelor's, master's, PhD in music education, and have taught every grade kindergarten through doctoral student, I'll get questions about how to improve as a drummer and questions about how to improve as an educator. I will often edit those answers and put them in this drumming tips playlist, which has over 14 hours of questions that I've answered. Over 100 videos in here, with the very first thing being what I talk about at the beginning, like how to improve sight reading. And then if it says and other drumming tips or and other teaching tips, that means there are more topics in the timestamp. So if you don't care about improving your sight reading, maybe there's other topics in there that'd be of interest to you. Timestamps in the description to jump to any of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different topics in here. Now, I've got literally thousands of free play-alongs on my YouTube channel's home tab. If you see any of these ones that say members first like this, that means it's scheduled to release for free. There's over 400 of them that are currently scheduled to release, so it might come out like over a year from now. Or like this one, it comes out on Friday. So stay tuned. It'll eventually come out. But if you want early access, just click the join button underneath any of my videos, and then it'll take you to the sign up page. It's 99 cents. That's the lowest price I could make it on YouTube. But again, it's all coming out for free, so stay tuned. Now, I am going to practice, so I need to get motivated here with Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf is here to help me out. So, Shia, I don't want to drum today. Do it! Just do it! Gravity works. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success. Well, you're going to wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not going to stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it. What's he grabbing? Just do it. Yes, you can. Just do it. If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Actually, Shia, I'm tired of dropping my stick on my toe. That hurt. Ouch. Thank you so much, Shia LaBeouf. I am so motivated now. I'm ready to practice. Now, at the top of every single one of my play-alongs, there's a link. It's also in the comment that's pinned at the top of every one of the thousands of play-alongs. This link takes you to my website, jaredoleary.com/drum. It's there if you're on the vertical. Let's go all the way to the bottom. So at the bottom, we've got tips and lessons. There's over 14 hours of tips in here, where I was answering questions in the live streams, but there's also all of these scripted videos like how to hold traditional grip or how to practice drums quietly, etc. If you scroll up a little bit, I've got almost 400 technique exercises. So if you want to work on your stick control, there's a bunch of variations in this playlist. If you want to work on practicing a rudiment to build it up, there's a bunch in here to work on your flam drags, your paradiddles, whatever. Check it out. There's, I think, like 30 some odd videos just in that one, but there's almost 400 in this section. Spend a lot of your time working on this, especially if you do the rudimental drumming stuff. Speaking of, I've got a bunch of cadences in here in score format, so you can see all the different parts. I've got almost 500 marching bass drum exercises. I'd really recommend focusing on the timing exercises here. I'd also recommend taking a look at the splits timing. It kind of simulates being able to practice on a bass line without being on a bass line. Yesterday, I was working on this limb independent stuff. There's a bunch of charts in here, 55 of them for straight and swung. And every one of these playlists links to how to develop limb independence. There's over 1,000 grid variations. Keep you busy for a while. Focus on rudiment on one instead of the wackier stuff. But, you know, it's your practice time. You do you. And then up here, this looks like there's not a lot of chop exercises, but there's actually 77 in here. So, for example, if we click on like the shopping spree playlist right here, this takes you to here, and there's 27 videos inside of here. How does the free channel membership work? Is it random or do I have to apply for it? It's 100% random. Unfortunately, I can't pick. Otherwise, like I totally would, especially the people who engage with it. But if you go to, thank you for the sub. I appreciate you. If you go to any one of these videos, I think, it allows you to actually pull it up on it. I don't think I can do it though. But there's like a way to, when you click the join button. Yeah. Okay, so Edwards, great question. So if you're on my, like any one of the videos, if you click the join button, this is where you can like sign up for the membership for 99 cents. But if you click on the dots right here, thank you for the like, where it says gift membership settings, if this is on, then you have the opportunity to get a month membership, which I give a like new set every single month on the 1st. So yeah, that's how you can get that. Just click on the join button, click on the little dots, and then the membership settings. I wish they had like an easier way to just like turn that on. But again, they're all coming out for free, Edwards. So they're not behind like a permanent paywall or anything. It's just literally early access. Anyways, so we got a bunch of shopping sprees in here. One that just released this morning is the Blue Devils 1994 shopping spree. And then 2 days from now, 95 will release. And then 2 days, and 2 days, and 2 days. By the end of this month, there's 12 more shopping sprees that are going to be added, available for the public. So I wanted to make sure these were available right away. So as opposed to putting them at the end of the queue, where you have to like wait over a year, it's coming out this month. So stay tuned. So today we're going to be playing through 1994 shopping spree. But before we do that, I'm going to warm up with a classic variation on shopping spree, which is called 4210 shopping spree. So the way this one works is a little different from normal shopping sprees. I'll explain it while I drum it. So timestamps in the description. Selecting a BPM. In this case, 120, so I can talk while playing it. So check. Flam drag. You'll notice I'm playing 4 counts of each one of the rudiments. I can't speak. That was cheeses. Here's flam 5s. Cha-cha-cha. Inverts. Cheese cha-cha-cha. Woo! Sorry about that. Cheese inverts. Cha-cheese. Same thing, 2 counts. Flam 5. Cha-cha-cha. Invert. Now 1 count of everything. Oh, shoot. I screwed up. No. So it was a cheese, and I played it as a cheese cheddar on that. But the 0, the very last thing, so it just gets rid of the check, and you play 1 of each rudiment. So drag, cheese, 5, cha-cha-cha, invert, cheese, cha-cha-cha, cheese, invert, and then cheese at the very end. Cool, so we're going to use this to warm up. Go. Now I'm going to focus on, actually playing. I agree. The 0 is definitely like a tag. It's fun. And you can put whatever rudiments you want. This is just a stock version. So we'd like call it out as friends, like the snare line. Hey, what do you want to play? All right, these. If this is too fast for you, don't worry. You can slow this one down as slow as 40. Or if this is too slow for you, you can go as fast as 200. 1 click at a time, using the timestamps faster and faster. Let's go to 130. Then I'll probably play it at 140, and then we'll stretch and massage. And then I'll finally get into the Blue Devils 94 spree, which again, just released today. Yay! thumb came off the stick. Cool, let's do it at 140. You don't have to play fast to get your hands going, get the blood flowing. Sorry, I'm out of rhymes. That was my quota for the day, though. Yeah. Sweet. Let's stretch massage. The first one that I'm going to do stretches the sides of the forearms. Take your sticks, hold them in your palms, facing up. Pull in, push through. Looks weird. I know. Feels great. I know. Yeah. And then go out of the stretch, just go back out the way that you came. So just go back. I love you lots. I love you lots. Now I'm going to stretch the underside of the forearm. So could do it like this if you pull back. You could do it like this if you do it on your pad, twice as fast. Or if you do it on the wall, the lower you go, the deeper the stretch. Oh, that feels great. I'm going to do it there. Don't put all your weight into it. Don't rip off your arms. That's bad. Now I'm going to stretch the top side of the forearm, so I could do it like this. I could do it on my leg like I did on the drum kit. Why, hello, Krill. You could do it like this. If you do it on the wall, the higher you go, the deeper the stretch. Again, don't put all your weight into it. And final stretch, thumb to thumb. So we're stretching the finger on the same finger. It just goes faster that way. Interesting. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that, YouTube? That was weird. Sorry, there's like the lag on that. Fixed. Uh-oh. And it erased that. Cool. Come on, YouTube. You can do it. There we go. It like got rid of my chat. Oh. ASMR. Enjoy. So the stretches, you'll notice I'm going from, why hello, I'm going from larger muscles to smaller muscles, or you can think of it as like from the upper body down towards the fingertips. I do a workout before I do this, so I stretch like shoulders and whatnot at that point. But if you march with the carrier, I highly recommend doing some shoulder stretches. My favorite one, where you take your arm, do like this, pull your neck down a little bit, and then do this, and it feels so good stretching along here, especially if you wear a carrier. Now I'm going to massage. So for this one, what I'm doing is I'm doing thumb on top, fingers underneath, and I'm massaging up and down the forearms, trying to relax everything. And then once I finish the massages, then I'm going to play through Blue Devil's 94 shopping spree, which again just released on my home tab underneath the chop section. There's like, what, 77 exercises for just the chop stuff, and then a couple thousand more for other things. So if you don't like chop stuff, cool. There's over 1,000 grid variations. Keep you busy. Okay, now I'm going to massage the palm with the thumb, and then the fingers I'm going to massage the back side of the hand. How do you get better on your sweeps on tenors? How do you stop hitting the rims as much? I've actually got a couple of videos that talks about how you can do that. Let me show you here in a second. Good questions, though. It's under the drumming tips playlist. I got one last massage to do, and then I'll show you where to find that. Base to tip. Getting relaxed. Ooh, ASMR. Enjoy that pop. Free of charge. So generous. You're welcome. Okay. Finishing up real quick. So since we're on the YouTube vertical, I'll show you how you can get it from my home tab on YouTube. But the best way that everything is like organized is the link that's there if you're on the vertical. So jaredoleary.com/drum. It's linked to at the top of every one of these play-alongs. But if you just go to my home tab, click, and you scroll down, past the chop stuff, past the grid, past the limb independence, the marching bass, the scores, like cadences, past the technique, all the way down to the bottom into here. Tips and lessons. There's over 14 hours of tips and lessons in here. So it's a little hard sometimes to like find everything because, you know, there's a lot. But if we go into here, sweep. Drumming tips number 58 and drumming tips number 53 are two that I recommend starting with. So that's got some tips for improving tenor sweeps or scrapes. Depending on where you're at, you might call it one or the other. So 58 and 53. There's some older ones. But there's also another one that I'd highly recommend doing. The intro to, not that one, tenor playing zones. This one actually has in it a second part that talks about how to take any of like the almost 400 technique exercises or any of the 1,000 grid variations and come up with tenor splits that work with those exercises and come up with like dozens of variations just for that. So I'd highly recommend taking a look at this one as well. This is number 67. So that's 58, 53, or 67. Those are all like good primers for that to help you out with it. But we are going to work on the shopping spree that released this morning. You go to the chop section. There's a playlist that's just for the shopping sprees, and inside of here, there's 27 videos, and the one that just released this morning is this one. And again, like 12 more of these that say members first are coming out by the end of this month for free. Like this one comes out on Thursday, so stay tuned. No, Friday. Thursday's tomorrow. Cool, so we're going to do this one. As with all these play-alongs, you can go into the timestamps and be like, hey, I want to play this at 114, or I want to play this at 167, or no, I want to start all the way at 40. I'm going to play through this just like so you can hear it. We'll just play it at, I don't know, 140, so you can hear what it sounds like. And then we're going to slow it down to 40, and then speed her up. A little weird on measure 3 and 4. So it's kind of like the spree that I was just doing. Weird, right? It's a fun one. What pad do I recommend? So under the tips and lessons section, there's a product review playlist. And in it, I show you why I recommend the Quadro pad. So it's like a 5 or 8 minute video, something like that. But I recommend this one for tenors, and it's great. And if you want to see like why and the demonstration of it, then check that out. The review on the Quadro pad. Okay. What I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna go up by like 5s. Okay, so we're gonna start nice and slow so I can get a nice relaxed technique while playing this. Going at this speed makes it so that it's easier to learn something. If you are new to one of these harder exercises, go slow. Make sure you keep your notes up after that diddle before it goes back into the flam in measure 2. Of the second line. Cha-cha-cha. Cheese cha-cha-cha. Invert. Both for 2 counts each. Cheese invert. Okay, So think of that as like 2 counts of 16th notes. 1 E and 2 E and then you release going into it. Okay, so this one right here, when you have the upbeat diddle right here for the flam drag, keep that up. As opposed to stopping down low and then playing the flam accent there. So when you're playing that one, it stays up. Then you go into the flam accent, okay? So this is a upstroke leading into a downstroke, okay? So now I'm gonna go up by 5s. So you can go up by 1s if you wanna just like work your way through this. But we're gonna go up by 5s for this because there's so many sprees that are coming out. And I'm gonna play the new one that releases each day, every other day. We're just gonna go up by 5s to try and get through them all. There's a lot. And I don't know all of them. Oops. Hit my stick. Don't know all of them yet. Make sure the accents are nice and relaxed. Pull up, but don't like that. See that up into the downstroke there? So it starts off like a normal spree-ish, other than the upbeat flam drag part. Then it kind of cuts things in half, so you're doing 2 counts of each of these rudiments. Right here. Sweet! Now we'll go up to 50. We'll see how fast we can get today. At least 50. Oh, I know. Ambitious. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you for the sub. If you're here for the drum and stuff, home tab. There's literally thousands. For free. Sweet. 55. Now this you could rewrite it to be like a different meter, so that way it's like 4/4 or like 2/4 or whatever. Kept it this way so you could see how it like line up with the feet or would not line up with the feet depending on what you're doing. Makes it a little less confusing, but there's multiple ways that you can write music. And so chose to write it this way, and for some of the other sprees where they might change the meter or do like 8th note equals 16th note. So that was the rationale behind it. So if you see like a transcription that changes like the meter on some of these chopping sprees, it might not be wrong. Now, by the way, you're eventually going to get to a point where it's going to be too fast for you. Slow it down a little bit, or a lot of bit, and just let it go one click at a time. So I could, if I were to like let this continue, just let it immediately go into the next tap off and just go one click. But we're doing exploratory purposes. We're just kind of going by 5s. But if you were sitting here grinding this out, go by 1. If you're here for the XP, like it says on my shirt, go slow with it. Why did I put a diddle there? You know, for funsies. Why not? Why not? Imagine ending the release as a diddle. Just because you can. Mm-hmm. 70. So, like, when you start off at, like, 40, it's like, oh, this is going to take forever. But if you're going up at, like, 5s, and it's like, oh, this isn't so bad. We're already at 70. Almost double the speed we started. I like that ending's fun. So the next like couple of years of them playing shopping sprees are like all variations on this. So like it usually starts with like the same thing and then like the ending is different. So again, 95 will come out in 2 days, 96 will come out in 2 days after that. We've also got 97, 98, 99 and 2000 are already out. 2003, 2004, and then some multiple other shopping sprees coming out from some other lines. So August is packed with sprees. Stay tuned. Man, it's already August. Yikes. What the? Bad interp on that left-hand cheese. Ew. Slightly late on the left hand there. Using the play along makes it so you can hear that little stuff. What is a flam? Well, that's a real quick question I can answer. A flam is when you take two different notes played almost at the same time. One of them starts high, it's called the primary note. One of them starts low, it's called the grace note. So the grace note, this low one down here, it's going to hit right before I hit the big one, okay? So see how both my hands are moving while doing this? grace note, primary note, okay? So you can play flams on one hand, and it makes a cha sound. You can play flams on the other hand. You can alternate. You can even change so that you have the primary note moving up and down while the grace note stays the same. But if you do concert percussion, you can make it so that the grace note moves at half the height of the primary note. So you can something like that. Now when you're doing a flam, you want that cha sound as opposed to ba-da-da, ba-da, ba-da. Unless you're playing on a large drum, like a timpani or a bass drum, then you're going to want to have it be more open. Otherwise, it'll like boo and make your stick pop up really fast like this. And you don't want that. And you also don't want what's called a flat flam where they hit at the same time. And it sounds like a double stop as opposed to a cha sound. Okay? Good question. On Instagram. Okay. We just finished at 75. Let's do 80. Ew. My left thumb feels weird. My mouse like clicked, like brought up a menu like right when I started playing the singles at the end. I was like, what the jump scare? I thought it was like a notification, like sometimes when the stream crashes, which is, you know, not fun. I almost started playing 4-2-1. The one that I warmed up with. Whoops. Hey. I scare you when I'm playing? Boo! Like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, so I've taught every grade, kindergarten through doctoral student, and I had a kindergartner once who, when they came into my class, like the first time for music class, like started crying because they were afraid of me, and it took like a couple of weeks of them coming to the music classes until they like finally one day, instead of coming in immediately, just started crying because they were afraid. They just came up, they gave me a hug, and then they didn't cry ever again. Like, all of a sudden, they're like, okay, not as scary as I thought. Actually a nice human being. But I got that, like, resting face where I just look angry. Yay, autism. Did I march DCI? Yeah. I had a video that came out on Monday that talks about that on my YouTube. So, if you go to the YouTube, if you scroll down past all the thousands of exercises, under the drumming lessons, there's a video that came out on Monday. I went from center snare to end snare twice. Ooh, teaser. Why? But yeah, so I did 5 years in the academy. So that's the tattoo for the core on my arm. And then I got into a car accident, so I couldn't march years 6 or 7. but I would have done 7 years in drum corps. But you gotta listen to that video to figure out what happened. It made it so dramatic. Do I know Glenn? No, I don't. I have quite a few friends that I marched with who did Blue Devils, but I don't think I know him. I know Glenn Crosby. OG. Oh, I rushed the fives and then I slowed down here. So I was making a micro adjustment to try and get back in time and just completely whiffed it. But yeah, Glenn Crosby was like a father figure of drumming for me. In fact, I actually thanked him in my dissertation in the foreword. He's one of the few people that I mentioned by name. But he's a OG instructor. He's great. Agreed. Not only would he like teach you how to drum, but he'd teach you about life while teaching you how to drum. It's pretty cool. Like I had a family member who had like a health concern. So like one day before rehearsal, I was just like really like in my head about it, like really down. And like he noticed it and he like came up and was like talking to me and was like, hey, like, just like giving me some life advice and whatnot. And then when he started teching the snare line, like he went up to us and was like talking about how to clean like whatever phrase we were working on. But while he was doing it, he was like also directly speaking to me about like the things that I was just talking to him about. And he was able to like, without like calling me out in front of the group, and which would like be like a breach of trust, but like he was able to clean the snare line while also giving me direct life advice that had to do with like the family member who had like the health concern and whatnot. His mindset talks changed your life. Yeah, he recommended quite a few things for me to like help me get out of my head. Cause like with the autism and like the rumination thoughts, like I just keep like going and going with like negative thoughts, like, oh, I'm not good enough, etc., etc. But yeah, like him and then the resources that he recommended were just like had a profound impact on my life. But I'm happy to hear that, Sean. He's such a good dude. He's so underrated too. I wish people could just see how good he is. DCI worth it? I actually have a video that talks about some of the hidden costs of DCI. Let me see if I can find it for you. It's under one of the drumming tips videos. Drumming tips number 86, I think, talks about that one. But it talks about like the hidden costs of not only like marching for DCI, but also like the money that you lose because you're spending the time marching. So like I used to teach privately, and so when I was like on tour, like I lost a significant portion of money because I couldn't teach privately because I was like gone. But then there's also the tour fees that you pay for. So I learned a lot of things in DCI that like changed my life for the better, but there's also a lot of costs that come with it. And for my goals, career-wise, personal-wise, etc., like I really enjoyed it. But I think this video is the one that talks about it. Drumming tips number 86, taking a gap year with DCI and WGI. So I'd check that one out. But there's also like 14 hours of tips in here from people who've asked questions like that on Instagram. He's very low-key until it's time to talk. Yeah, so like Glenn is like kind of like the wizard in Wizard of Oz, where he's like behind the scenes, like and like other people will get more recognition than him, but like he's the one that like taught them. And he's the one who's like kind of whispering in the ear, like, hey, you should probably do this thing. And then they'll go and do that thing, and then they get the credit for it. And like he's so like has like no ego, where he'll just like, that's fine. Like they can get the credit for it, for what I was basically encouraging them to do. He was such a good role model to have. He was a breath of fresh air when it came to instruction, because I've seen some bad instruction. The video on Monday kind of talks about that. At least some of it. I've seen way worse than that. And I was holding back in that video. I keep slurring out the singles going into that. Shame. That's okay. That's okay. The 95 variation is a little bit different, but it's actually an extension of this one. So the one that's going to come out on 2 days from now. It's interesting. Hey, nice meeting you as well, Sean. I hope you have a good day. Thousands more on my home tab. Keep you busy for a while. That was better. Cool. 120. Make sure you don't change the rhythm on there. You'll see with 96 spree what some people will do. There's a variation that's coming out for this where it comes in late. Either intentionally or not. Who knows? Still late on that. 125. I started playing 4 counts of the cha-cha-cha instead of 2. Unsubscribe. Yeah, I know. I understand. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. It's the first one I've made in all 40 years I've been alive. Please forgive me. I'll make a response video. Why, hello. That's a very long name. Now, when your parents named you, and they gave you the middle name Drum Corps Superfan Joe, which is a very long middle name to have, would they have been disappointed if you actually didn't like Drum Corps? They'd have been like, we should have named middle name something like not Drum Corps Superfan Joe. Hello, Tracy. Welcome back. You probably would have been disowned. Well, a therapist or social worker can help your parents with that. But Yeah, so this is the 94 shopping spree. 95 we'll do in a couple of days when that one releases. But this is a fun one. It's a classic. It's fun to see how they like change it each year, and then they eventually were like, nah, let's just make it completely different. You'll see. There's a lot of sprees coming out this month. I keep screwing up the timing on that. We'll work on it on tomorrow. Some more. Okay. I'm just going 5 clicks at a time. If this is too fast for you, you can, again, start at 40 like I did. You don't have to go up 5 clicks. You can literally just go up 1 click if you're learning this. No shame. Yeah, that left's coming in late. Shame. I'm going to try and get it to 160. And then I'll chop it out with something else, just for fun. Just so we're not playing the whole thing. All the whole time. Oh my gosh, you're playing match grip. Yeah, I should be cut from center snare to end snare. That guy was interesting, to say the least. Okay, 160. You hope people watch? I don't. I'm camera shy. Just use the play longs. Don't watch me. You just watched that video? Yeah. I'm holding back in that video. Ew. Oh, those 5s are bad. Yeah, so far the reaction's been positive. There's only been one person that I blocked because they took several sentences to tell me the reason why I got cut was because I wasn't good and because I was addicted to pills. And I was like, where on earth did you get that from? Okay, goodbye. No response, just ban. If that's your takeaway from that video, then yikes. You love match grip lines of the 80s? Yeah, it was cool, like all the times that like Vanguard has played match grip. Unfortunately, in 05, in that story that I was talking about, like they didn't really clean it up until the very end. And like their lot, like if you watch their finals lot, like they've got some cool stuff. They're playing some notes. They're super relaxed. They're putting out a ton of sound. But because they like went from winning high drums in 04 to the match grip year, like they just didn't get any credit for it. So unfortunate. But I mean, there's like some killer high schools that do match grip in WJI. I just wish some more like of the DCI and WJI groups that were at the world-class level for like the independent groups were to actually do it. But, you know, we're not there yet. Maybe one day. There's enough instructors at this point that I think we're nearing a tipping point where it's like most instructors that I know are like, yeah, traditional grip's kind of pointless. And I say that again as somebody who like marched traditional. I don't play it anymore. It's just, there's no use to it. Let's go. So all of these again are coming out for free. All these members first ones, like this 2 days, 2 days after that, 2 days after that, 2 days after that, 2 days after that. So stay tuned. August is stacked. Let's just go ahead and play a classic. This one's currently available. I wrote this one a long time ago. We're just going to chop out with this one. It's a little more involved than the Blue Devils 94, but you'll see as you like go through these as they release over the next couple of weeks. they get more and more complicated every year. It's kind of fun to see the evolution. I love that phrase. Let's go up by tens. 130. Whoop. Also, since you mentioned like groups in the 80s, I think a lot of those groups don't get enough credit for the difficulty of playing on their drums back in the day. Oh, no. I was too busy thinking about how they had some notes back then. You had to play into the head? Oh, yeah, most definitely. Like, before scoops were invented and the types of head that they use have completely changed. You had to have some choppy forearms to be able to play some of that stuff back in the day. It was like using these, the Hardeman hammers, like on a pillow. And the drums were so heavy. Especially the timpani. For anybody who's like hasn't seen the old DCI stuff, they used to have marching timpani. So like a person would have a timpano, so a single drum, and like they'd basically be marching like this, like with their back all messed up. I'm sure they're all regretting that in old age, but it was like a bass line but with like timpani. And then I believe they had to hand crank it to like change it too, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't know, I'm 40 now, so memory's going. It's one of those things. Blue 77, I don't know if I know that one. Now I need to look it up. That would have just been so much better if it's traditional grip, right? Everyone would have been like, wow, but instead they're like, wasn't traditional. Never in a position to have to listen to someone for a reference. You really excited to not be center? Hey, yeah, that's I'm glad that I was able to help provide some context for that. If you have questions like down the road, like what are some tips on like how to listen in? Feel free to stop in on streams. Feel free to like leave comments on the videos. I do reply to the comments, unless you're a troll like that guy who was saying I wasn't good enough when I was a druggie. It's like, yeah, you're gone. Goodbye. But yeah, one of the reasons why like there's like thousands of play-alongs on my home tab was to like help with that listening in. So like what I did when I started the stream, just start at like 40 on an exercise and just practice listening in to get that interp to line up perfectly with the play along. And then you can also like change the different dynamics. Another way that you can practice listening in is to pull up lock clips of your favorite drum lines and just practice along with them. The 27th Lancers, the best timpani line ever in 1981. Okay, cool. Yeah, I need to look that up. There's actually the Sacramento Freelancers shopping sprees coming out in, I think, 2 weeks. So stay tuned for that. What are you at? 160 now? I think. Kind of made me think of that. It's a cool spree. There's so many cool sprees coming out. I'm super excited about them. Now we're going until we completely crash and burn, which is going to be right now. My wife is standing off stream. She's got the fire extinguisher ready. Just kidding. Okay, I know it wasn't exciting because my arms didn't burst into flames, but they feel like they did. The sticks I'm using are Hardeman hammers. I highly recommend them if you want to work on your chops. And if you double tape them like this, then you can really work on them. They're basically just like the normal Hardemans, but they're like actually slightly shorter, which is kind of funny. Like just like a little bit, but they're way heavier, like 44% heavier. So I like them. If you like these exercises, there's over 2,000 more for free. Go to the home tab of YouTube and scroll down to the different sections. So we've got chop exercises. There's 77 different chop exercises. Again, there's 12 shopping sprees that are coming out over the course of August, so stay tuned for those. There's also over 1,000 grid variations. So many playlists in here, you have to click the header to show all of these different playlists. I'd recommend staying with Rudiment on one, like Flam Drag on one for triplet or 16th note, whatever you want to do. Tomorrow, I'm going to work on limb independence. I'm finishing up a book that specifically focuses on 50 ways to do limb independence. So we're like towards the end of it, so woot. If you do marching bass, there's almost 500 exercises in here. The splits timing allows you to practice like what it's like to be on a bass line without actually being on a bass line. You'll see when you actually play through it because it mutes and unmutes certain parts. But then we've also got the timing exercises. I highly recommend those. We've got some drumline cadences and score format. There's almost 400 technique exercises. You also have to click to show all the playlists so you can work on your stick control, your timing, your 3s and 4 strokes, flams, whatever you want to do. And then when people have asked questions about like how to improve as a drummer, how to improve as an educator, because I have a bachelor's, master's, PhD in music education, I'll talk about both how to improve those areas. You can find over 100 videos on different things that people ask me on these live streams. Think of it like office hours, where you can come in, ask questions if you want to. Otherwise, I'm just going to practice. Or we could talk shop, whatever you want to do. But I'm going to call it here. I like to do these drumming streams for about an hour, and we're like exactly at the hour point. Tomorrow will be Limb Independence. 2 days from now, we're going to play Blue Devils 95 Shopping Spree, which is a little variation on the one that we just did. So stay tuned for that. But if you enjoy these free resources, share it with somebody else. If you don't enjoy these free resources, share it with an enemy. And you can find them organized neater than I can on YouTube if you go to here. Boop. First link, where all the timestamps are, and it's got all of the exercises organized as neatly as I can on my website, including all the instructional videos and whatnot, like the one that people were just referring to that just came out on Monday. But I'm going to call it. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and goodbye.